We're going to crack straight on now, talking about decarbonising together with your suppliers and getting some insights and best practices from Equans. There hopefully might be some time for questions at the end. If there is time, put your hand up and I'll get to you with a microphone. And if you're watching online, just use your chat function on the page there. And they come directly to me on my iPad, so I'll be able to pass them straight across to you, Iris.
Yeah.
It's a real pleasure to introduce Iris van der Harst, Chief Procurement Officer at Equans. I'll leave it to you to introduce yourself
thanks.
a bit more and your company.
Thank you. So I saw on the program, this is the first Fireside Chat of the day, right? For procurement. No? No, because I envisioned a complete different stage and setup with a Fireside Chat. So a very intimate setting with a couple of hundred of my best friends here. So very excited to have you here. Maybe not everyone knows Equans. We are quite a large company in a multi-tech solutions. We have about 90,000 people working for us in 20 countries and more than 19 billion revenue worldwide. And we, until a couple of years ago, we were a part of the NG group, and now we are part of the Bouygues group, very French. So that's why the pronunciation is Equans.
I was given some schooling earlier.
And so I'm responsible for the procurement function in the Netherlands, and it's the direct and indirect purchasing of the country. So
with a £90 billion company, just a small procurement function there.
Yeah.
Let's crack on and focus on supplier-led decarbonisation. How does that shape everything that Equans does, and what was the first step in that?
Well, one of our main goals as a company is help our customers decarbonize their companies, the energy transition, and full on the industrial revolution as well. That's currently going on. So I joined the company a year and a half ago, and I really felt good with the goal of the company. So before that, I worked at an e-commerce company, a really big one. That is, of course, it has very good vision on what they wanted to do, but at the end, selling more stuff is not very sustainable. So I kind of clicked directly with the core vision of the company, and for me, it's very easy to translate into procurement. Not for everyone, I understand. But having the senior leadership, having the sustainability as a main goal, and that is what we offer our customers. So if you want to offer it to your customers, you need to source solutions for it, right? So that really helps.
I can see that within your company ethos, and I can see it, of course, for your clients. Herding cats, which is managing your supply chain, is quite a different thing. How do you build that trust and alignment, which is so difficult to achieve?
Yeah, so I think it's a shared goal that you need to search together. So we are offering solutions and products to our customers. Sure. And you need your suppliers with it, but the best way to gain trust with your suppliers is to offer them the solutions your customers need. So you really connect the clients with your suppliers, and it changes the whole function of the procurement role. So, and that's why I think it's so exciting to be in a procurement role at this moment. You know, of course with AI and everything, but the role really changes from being maybe the negotiator or fixing, you get an invoice and you have to fix everything, but have a real competence of being able to have those conversations with your suppliers and gain trust, select suppliers who are willing to take the risk with you, that they can create new products or new services that we can really offer our clients, and vice versa. So if we bring questions from our clients, back to the suppliers, and that we give them the option to really create a new product. Well, one plus one.
Can I just clarify something in what you said? Clearly, if you've got suppliers whose business is focused on offering decarbonisation or energy efficient solutions, they're on board. But you must have a multitude of other suppliers for whom that's not their first priority. And so it's about going back to how do you herd those particular cats? How do you ensure that they are fully aligned and not just at the stage when they're signing a contract?
That's a good question. So I think just engage in the conversation first. So just try to explain the problem that we have. So we really want to offer this to our customers. And what we see is that there are already some of the bigger normal suppliers. They offer alternative, but it's more expensive. And the customers, they don't order it, they don't buy it. So you really try to have the conversation, and we call those climate meetings, just to inform them our problem. So help us fix this problem together. And what I also see, if you look in the complete supply chain of our suppliers, maybe they can decarbonize one of their plants or factories, and that they won't only help us as a customer, but they will also help all their other customers. So we are now looking into the whole, well, it's a combination of this event, but the whole supply chain, where they produce, where they source, and help them together in creating better products. And also try to do it on maybe at the same price or even lower.
Even lower.
Yeah.
And you'll crack scope 3 for us. What more? I don't know if this is too detailed, but what are the data points? What are the KPIs and the metrics that you really need to track when you're evaluating?
Yeah, so we have set also the same targets for the whole procurement department. So they all have the same targets for this year, that they also have to work together in getting it. So it's a shared target. And the main KPIs that we're looking for is how many climate meetings did they have with the suppliers, the availability of those alternative products, the DPAs, and also certifications like Equans and IQ+.
Have you got any standout innovations that either your suppliers or with your suppliers you've been able to put into effect that are really helping to reduce emissions?
Yeah, I got informed, of course, because I don't do it personally, but I got informed that we have, for example, there's one customer who really asked us to think a bit broader. They wanted to build a parking deck with solar panels. And of course, having solar panels is very good for the environment, but they wanted to... Yeah, but they wanted to have solar panels that could be recyclable, because that's the problem with solar panels, is that they are really hard to recycle. And we didn't really had a supplier who could do that. So we sourced a new supplier locally as well, so in Holland. It was also for a Dutch customer, who could offer recyclable solar panels. And it was really expensive, but the customer was willing to pay for it. So it was really a 6-figure amount, but they were really willing to pay it, and we are installing it. So that's, I think, is a very good example. And what we also see is when we work on our project locations, it's not about sourcing CO2 lower products or offering, but also what we use on site. So we need to rent equipment, cranes, for example, and also our customers are challenging us. Like we want you to work with a lower CO2 level on site, and finding a crane which can also load the heavy amount, but on an electric way instead of using a diesel. that was also quite challenging. And we've cooperated with one of our preferred suppliers, and they've really created a new kind of crane just that we could use. And now we're putting it in different projects as well. So I think cool co-creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's empowering for your team as well, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
finding new solutions.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to come on to, about creating that internal culture where your team is empowered to prioritize sustainability. And I'm guessing that is simply built into the DNA of your work anyway.
Yeah.
But do you need to work at empowering your team to come up with, to source solutions
Yeah,
like
of
you
course.
just
And
described?
there's so many other priorities, right? So it's not that I can just focus them only on sustainability. I think what really helps is to train them. So we've given them the chance to follow courses, one-on-one training, coaching as well, in combination with my colleagues from the CSR department. And we've also invested in a new tooling that can help them. So we're piloting a tool right now to track the CO2 emissions in the whole supply chain of our where our suppliers where they source their material. So to make it easier for them, and that they'll will show that we are investing in them, and that it's just not something extra only for this year, but it's here to stay.
Can I go off piste and ask a really unfair question? because I think this is key to everything at the moment. It's about procurement, it's about people, like any role is about people. How do your people feel about AI and how that can help them? Are they worried, or do they embrace it?
Good question. So I started a year and a half ago at this company, and my team is about 100 people, but they work all over the country because they're close to the business. So I organized a procurement day for the whole team to get together last year. So it was my first time at the company, and the questions I got were quite worrying, like, is AI going to lose our jobs? So they were quite worrying. And this year we focused on the procurement day again, so it's once a year. I invited a speaker on AI that could really, well, of course, be critical, but also show the possibilities for the procurement role and AI. And I believe that they're, of course, we're Dutch, so we're always a bit critical, but they are more excited now to see what how they can work with it and what kind of pilots we can try. So. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was most unfair to drop it in, but I wanted to know.
I could go on for hours.
Let's get back to decarbonisation. What is the agenda like at the moment? You see it with thousands of clients that you deal with, different business pressures, different geopolitical pressures.
Mm-hmm.
What keeps the decarbonisation agenda moving?
Well, what for me really helps is involving the customers. So I use our customer, but not one, but a lot of them, because it's the customers are asking for it, and they really use to me as procurement to put it on the agenda all the time. So I just take the customer card all the time. Yeah.
Get on to the Okay. So give the people here some takeaways. What piece of advice or pieces of advice would you give to other CPOs who want to decarbonise with their suppliers?
Well, I think there are two quite difficult factors that you need to encounter. So, and that's also one that's really difficult for us as well. So one is uniformity. So everyone uses a different kind of way of accounting, of measuring. So there's not one way of extracting the right data. So the data is not going to be there, but and the second one is, of course, the money, the budget. So budget's always tight for being in procurement, and especially for these kind of initiatives. But what I can share is just take it step by step and try to find your internal stakeholders. So I found my stakeholders within the CSR department, but also within the commercial department, connecting the clients. And one of our biggest clients is really asking us every month what we are doing on decarbonization. So that if you try to look for colleagues that can help you internal to just put this content constantly on the agenda and take it step by step. So you cannot do it alone, and don't try to do it in 1 year. It's going to take you a bit of a time.
And again, perhaps your field is a little specialised, because I'm sure many of your suppliers are very much bought into decarbonisation. But how do you keep track? What visibility do you have down your supply chain to ensure that decarbonisation remains a priority to improve your Scope 3?
And that's also cooperation with in the whole branch. So try to engage our competitors, because sometimes what we see, we have our top 100 of suppliers. They are really big players. They don't do anything just because Equans is asking for it. So involve your competitors in we have some branch cooperations in Holland, but I think it's in every country that you can cooperate and approach the market together.
That's really interesting. Is that a cultural thing?
I don't know. It's what we do, and we have already achieved not on sustainability, but on different initiatives. Also, those kind of cooperations that really help in making our work life a bit better. Yeah.
Is there anybody in the room who works with their competitors to achieve those shared goals? Any hands going up? There's one hand. There's two hands.
Yeah. I see.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can get together afterwards and compare notes. I'm mindful that we have to gently start to draw to a close. Are there any questions on this? That Kendra, it's always great when the questions are on the other side of the room to the microphone. It's an amusement to me. Thank you, madam.
Sorry. Thank you both. I'm really interested to know your thoughts on making sure climate commitments are baked into contracts. So, for example, using the right clauses to make sure those commitments are legally binding. And if you have experience with this, how have you navigated those conversations with suppliers?
So, if I understood it correctly, do we have contracts with our clients or with our suppliers? Yeah, so what we, not yet, but we get a lot of questions so that we can give our commitment towards, for example, a reduction of X% in a couple of years. And also there we have the conversation with the clients on the uniformity of data. So we can set up goals, but what exactly are you committing to if you're not speaking the same language? And that's also what we have with our suppliers. So getting the data right first. So is it spend-based decarbonization data, or is it really fact-based, or how do you measure it? And I think that is the first step. So we're quite reluctant in signing, but we also know that our customers just won't select us anymore in the future if we won't work on it.
Okay, any more questions from the floor before we wrap up? Just talk about the future. We've concentrated here on decarbonisation with your suppliers. What does that look like in the years ahead? Any changes? What will you be focusing on?
Well, my dream is that we have the clear uniformity on data.
Yeah.
And also that we can really measure and have the availability on the R's within CSRD. So really focus on the recycle, refurbishing, reuse. That is so much clearer, and that you can see it in, and that it's also for the same price or even lower. But you can really. So I feel that this is kind of the more slower area that you need to take it step by step and set the data right, then you can fly afterwards and make it all very clear what you're doing and what you can offer your customers as well.
I don't think there's a single discussion I've been involved with in procurement or sustainability or you name it without data being the problem child, being at the heart of it. Thank you very much, Iris. Thank you very much from Equans. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Iris van der Harst.